Sorry. Hello. I can't believe I forgot to do that. Good morning. Hello. Welcome to my Facebook Live chat on Friday the 20th of April. I nearly said July. But you might be watching this later on YouTube because I am uploading all of these chats to YouTube after I'm finished. So if you see me talking, responding to people, that'll be because I'm recording this live on Facebook. But if you have any questions, no matter where you are, where you're watching from, just drop me an email, shelley@spincushions.com, or comment on my YouTube videos or Facebook. Good morning, good morning. Drop me a line anytime and I will let you know in answer to your question. So let me tell you what I've been doing this week. It's so exciting. I've got some really fun things on the go, so I'm really, really happy. School holidays finished last week, so I'm back to my normal routine. With my last child at home has started back at school, so back into the normal flow, which is good. And I've made the most of it. Emails. I send a weekly newsletter, but I also have 2 other email lists as well that have kind of been sadly a bit neglected. I'm sorry if you're there. Hello. So this week I've sent 3 different emails to 3 different groups of people. You might be in the same, you might be a member of all of those groups, but anyway, the first one was my usual weekly one, which was a This and That Thursday, where I spoke about all the info about the cruise that's coming up in January because bookings are open. As tickets went on sale last week, and I think it's my crochet workshops are almost 50% sold out already. So that's not bad for a week. So yeah, that's really exciting. But also in there I mentioned, I think I showed you a couple of weeks ago, allcrochetpatterns.net are having a competition. They sent me a message and invited me to enter. But I was in the middle of doing a lot of really intense book stuff at the time, and they had pretty specific requirements. It's a granny square competition, a designing contest. And the square had to have a certain number of stitches around the outside, and I couldn't design something new. It just wouldn't fit in. So I thought, surely with the 200 odd patterns I've designed, there must be one that would fit at least. And there was. And I think I showed you before. This is one of the patterns from my book called Rosette. And this is the one that I entered in the competition. So it's 2 versions. There's another blue version, which is actually the one that they've chosen to show as my entry on the competition page in my usual Cascade Ultra Pima Cotton Blues. Anyway, so I entered and voting is now open for that competition. But the thing, I'm not interested. I don't really care about winning it or not. There's some of the patterns, 100 of the patterns entered are going to be being chosen to be put into a book next year, and that's what I'd really like to happen. So I will pop a link down below for the voting. You'll probably see mine first, but you can vote for 10 different squares. But the reason I'm telling you is because if you do, you can win 100 balls of Yarn and Colours Epic, which I think is a cotton yarn. I haven't actually used it before. So that is a pretty amazing prize. So go ahead and enter. I'll pop a link in the comments after this, and just choose 10 that you love. There's some really, really cool ones in there. I voted yesterday. It was really hard. I had to keep writing things down and tossing up between them. But anyway, I got my voting done. So I will add that later. That's pretty exciting. And let's see. Yes, oh, that's right. The competition, the voting, if you want to enter to win the yarn, it closes on Sunday. So you need to do that in the next couple of days. Right, so I know, it's pretty exciting. What else did I do? So the 2 other email lists I have, one is about book news, the book that I'm writing, Granny Square Flair, and I sent one out this week telling people about my progress, which I promised to do once a month that I hadn't actually done. So I'm really sorry if that's what you're expecting from me, but I think I just got so wrapped up in actually writing it that I forgot that I said I was going to do that. But anyway, I updated everyone on my progress, which is a draft is with my proofreader, which is very exciting. And photographer is almost finished, which is also very exciting. It's getting closer. It's looking really cool. Awesome. Thank you. Debbie has just confirmed that the Epic yarn is cotton. I thought it was. Thank you very much. Yes, so I updated them. I showed a couple of, I showed an actual photographer photo in my email. So if you're on my list, you get a few sneaky peeks at things. The other list that I have is a crochet along list. So once a year, I run at least one crochet along project where we all work together on the same thing. Last year it was a Erin Blanket, and so many of you made it. It was just awesome. I love it. And I've got an idea for another one like that I've started working on. I think I showed you, I don't have it with me here, a few weeks ago, like grey with a bit of overlay in a contrasting colour. That is the one I'm going to do, like it's going to be like the Mine Cal later in the year, but I don't have time right now to do that because there's still a lot of book stuff happening behind the scenes, a lot of stuff you don't need to know about, that I don't have time to commit to creating a full cal like that. But there's another pattern that I told you last week, my giantess pattern, which is 2 squares that I designed, I can't even remember, I think it was 2014, 2015, can't remember. But at the time, they were some of my most complex patterns, and the way I wrote it needed some improvement. Sorry, I keep playing with my hair. It needs a cut, that's annoying me, I'm sorry. It needs some work. It was before I was doing videos, before I was doing charts, so I want to go back and do that. I've been a bit, that was my idea that I had last week. I think I shared it with you last week. Then, sorry, reaching over to my desk, I went into town this week. I had an appointment in town and I just went for a coffee before, and I took my Get to Work book, which is my planner that I use. And this planner has got, at the back of each month, a couple of pages, like this is like grid paper, which I use to just sort of brainstorm an idea, like get out my tax bill, just write down all of the things that are swirling in my head about a project I want to do. So this is all about the giantess cal, how I wanted to run it. I'm going to do it as a cal. And then this page here has lots of little boxes that you can break up your brainstorming into little actionable sections and then sort of tick them off as you go. So I did that the other day before I started playing, and I allocated time to redesign and rewrite the patterns to have it done by the 2nd of May because I thought it's going to take a long time. Well, as I say, I've been a bit like with a dog with a bone, and I haven't been able to let it alone. So I've actually already redesigned both of them. So they don't look, you probably won't notice a lot of difference if you look at the pictures online, but they're easier to make, and I've taken out, when I actually rewrite the patterns, they will be a lot less confusing and much more achievable, and they really aren't as tricky. If you did Mayan, this would be a walk in the park, honestly. So it's made up of 2 squares, this one. So I've made this sample in 4-ply Bendigo Woolen Mills cotton. It's about 10.5 inches across. I am going to make it in 8-ply yarn as well. I seem to have lost this. I started using this lovely stormy grey in the 8-ply, but that's all I had. I ran out. So yes, I couldn't stop, so I went to 4-ply that I had in the Arctic colour and did that. That was a couple of days ago, I think. And then yesterday, I did the big one. So this is about, I can't remember, 16 inches across in 4-ply, so it's quite huge in 8-ply. I redesigned the centre slightly because the old one I didn't like, and yeah, there's a round in about round 9 that was just so confusing. I think at the time I thought it was really clever, but looking at it now, it was just unnecessarily complicated. So I have simplified that and made it just a little bit easier to all fit together, because 2 of those equal 3 of those. So I want to change the layout. The sample that I did for the original one, it was a very basic layout. I want to change the layout and do it a bit bigger. It was also fairly small. So that is what I have been doing. So 2nd of May deadline met. I think I'll do the rewriting of the patterns today and get the testing on tomorrow. So if you would like to know about that, I'm calling it a quiet cal, because it's not a full bone big you know, step by step, everything processed, everything posted on the blog. It is a paid crochet along, so if you have the pattern, I'll just send you a prompt. There's going to be 3 emails in total for the crochet along. Every couple of weeks. I haven't got the exact dates yet because I think my planned dates might happen a bit earlier than that. And we'll just work together on it. So you need it, I will be updating the pattern, so it has charts and it has links to videos that you'll only be able to access if you have the pattern, as well as round by round photos, and I'll show in detail anything particularly tricky. So if you would like to be part of that, you can get the pattern now if you want, because everyone who's already purchased the pattern will automatically get an update to the new one, pardon me, whether it's via Ravelry or via my blog shop. So don't worry about that. If you've already got the pattern and you would like to join in, that's fine. You will automatically get up the new pattern. But if you're going to do it, you can get a little discount on the pattern if you enter the code QuietCal. So QuietCal is the code. In my pattern shop, you will get 20% off the pattern, and I'll send you an update as soon as it's ready. And yes, if you would like to join the email list for that, if you already get my newsletter, just scroll right down to the bottom and update your preferences. Click on that, and you'll be able to tick the box for crochet along. Same with the book. Or if you haven't signed up, I'll put a link down below and you can sign up now. But yes, as I say, that's just a little quiet one. I will be doing a normal big free one later in the year. I just have to get the book completely ticked off and done before I can commit to the time it takes to do that. Yes, so that's that. Granny Square Flare book progress. Talking of book, I have made this many samples again that I need to. I still need to make a few more, probably about 10 or so more. This is Chris. I can start telling you names of things now. This one I've called Deco. This one is Zara. This one here is Sol. This fancy pants one is Valentina. Some of these are unblocked too, by the way, so forgive me if they're a little bit wonky. This one is called Spike. This one is Mozambique. I'm probably being really quick again. I just don't want to bore you. This one is Sibyl-Yarn. This one is one of my favourites. It's called Pinky. That's something else I could have shown you, but I haven't got it here with me. This one is Veins, which I really love. This one here is Sharing. Radius. And this one is Salish. So, as I say, more to do, and I will do that probably this afternoon. Right, so that's that. What else has happened this week? I posted my weekly words with this week, I remembered. Yes, Kat, that is parchment, bendigo wool and Nels cotton. Well spotted. And this week I posted Meryl. She's only a beginner, but she's doing some pretty amazing stuff. So go have a look at that. If you would like to be featured on my Facebook page, just have a look to the links down below later, and I'll pop a link where you can, there's a little online survey you can fill in and add photos too. What else? Yes, in the mail this week. It seems like the last few times I've done this, I have received some lovely mail, and this week was no exception. This was a complete surprise. I knew that I was getting something from this company, but I didn't realise it was going to be this huge project bag with crochet cotton in it. So I told them, they knew my colour preferences, obviously, as you can see. Blues and some greys. There's a bit of a green in there too. What else? Tealy sort of colour. It's called Create Handmade 4-ply crochet cotton. So it's mercerised, made in Turkey. I have a white. What else? I like this one, the natural sort of colour, the creamy colour. a couple more dark blue and another grey. So lots to do. I have an idea. It's not the usual kind of yarn that I use. Like, it's different. It's not like 4-ply Bendigo Woolen Mills cotton. This is more mercerised, stiffer cotton. But I do have an idea, but I'm not sure if it's going to work. But I will soon, someday, have a go. I also got the shade card in the mail for it. So there's lots of bright colours. I believe this yarn is going to be available like in Big W and places like that in Australia. So yes, that's very nice and very exciting. I really hope my idea works, because I think it's something I've wanted to do for a while, and I think this will be the right yarn for it. So yay! So that was lovely, but how awesome is that ad too? So cool. Yay! What else? Okay, last weekend I had a bit of a forget about everything, blob on the couch kind of weekend. I was just tired, and the weather was terrible. You know, when the weather sort of really affects your mood, it was just windy and raining and freezing cold, and it's still April. Like today, it's beautiful and sunny and delicious, but it was horrible, just a miserable weekend, just the sort of weekend you didn't want to go anywhere. So I sat and worked on Erin's blanket. It's really, 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 really long now. But I took myself to a different spot than where I normally sit. And I've worked away, and then as I've put it away, when I'm finished, I think since last time I showed you, it was up to about here, underneath the maroon bobbles. And then I think from about here to here is what I did on the weekend. And I used the wrong hook size. So I debated undoing it all, but decided I'm not going to. Erin's not going to care. She's not going to notice. Okay, the ends will be, it's just fractionally wider, but the border that this pattern comes with will deal with that slight difference on the edges. They're quite okay. And look, I'm not going to be the only one who knows. So I can tell exactly. It's that second row of stone. I've used a larger hook than everything before. So it's still cool. I'm still so pleased how it's going. I think I'm probably a bit over halfway now, probably a bit more. But that's good. It's happening. My girls are coming home at winter. No, you can't tell. And maybe she might even get to take it back home with her when she goes back home. We'll see. Right, so that's pretty much all I have here that I can show you and tell you about. So questions that I've had this week. I've had a couple of people have trouble accessing the free patterns in my pattern shop. I think the confusion is because you add them to cart. They're still free and you have to enter your email address, that sort of stuff. But you don't have to enter any credit card details or anything. It's just so that if I ever update a pattern, you will automatically be notified when there's an update and you can download the new one. So yeah, you add them to cart as normal. There won't be any mystery charge pop up. It's just add the new pattern you want to cart, check out, and you'll get a download link straight away. It's that easy. I've had a question from a lady. I've been crocheting for 35 years and I can't understand your patterns. I get it. It's if you learn one way a long time ago and you haven't explored any other designers or any recent more modern design, it can be a little bit difficult. But I have lots and lots of information on how I write my patterns. There's blog posts, all of the crochet along patterns I explain in detail, like what the asterisks mean, what the brackets mean, how the reasoning behind why I do things the way I do. So there's a lot of information there. If you're ever having trouble, just ask me and I will point you in the right direction and I will get you going, I promise. Easy. Another question I've had is about the book. Will it be available digitally? Now, at the very least, you will be able to get a PDF version of my book from my pattern shop. A lot of people are just going digital these days, which is fine and it's great. I still don't know about like a Kindle or Kobo or iBooks digital version. It's a little bit more complicated than my normal ebooks because they're created as ebooks from the beginning. This is created as a print book from the beginning, so it's a little bit different to how I've done things before. I'm not saying it's not possible, it absolutely is, a lot of people do, but it's just not something I've done before, so it's something I have to learn. And whether, yeah, anyway, something I have to research. So at the very least, you will be able to get a PDF version in my pattern shop. So that's that. That's about all the questions I have that I'm sharing with you today. If anyone else has some in the Facebook people who want to say something, please go ahead. Otherwise, I will let you go and see you next week with all my crochet news. So, if there's nothing there, have a wonderful weekend and I will see you next week. Thanks.